Chelsea are set to continue their Champions League Remembrance Tour by taking on Ajax at home tomorrow evening. Now, we need to win this game. We need to make it 2 wins on the bounce because we have tougher tests to come in the Champions League Group League. And before we play against Barcelona, Napoli and all these big teams, we can't afford to slip up easy meals against teams like Ajax. Now, for every Chelsea fan, whenever you think about Ajax, I think we can all just associate ourselves with that incredible game 5 years ago at home when we saw that 4-4 draw against Ajax. Why not kind of like relive those older memories? Because that was one of the classic games for modern day Chelsea fans. And in that game, things were spectacular for us with Jorginho scoring from the pen spot in like the 4th minute. But after that moment, we kind of capitulated. And it then became the Hakim Ziyech show. I mean, that assist to Promes down the left-hand side was incredible. And I could completely see the vision that Frank Lampard had after seeing Ziyech live in the flesh against us at home. And I could see the vision he had of Reece James overlapping down the right and Hakim Ziyech just finding Werner and Co down the left-hand side. It's a shame that injuries kind of stopped that vision and dream from coming to life. But Ziyech really tore us one in that game. Scored a spectacular goal against us. And we went into that game down and out. So the fact that we came back big with that comeback near the end, courtesy of that incredible Reece James winner right near the end, pure limbs, pure pandemonium. It's one of those games as a fan that you'll never forget. It just had so many moments. Like, who could ever forget Kurt Zuma's run from the halfway line and his like bullet time step overs before before ballooning that shot outside the stadium. Like, hopefully we get that level of entertainment, but we secure the 3 points at the same time. But for myself, I'm feeling pretty optimistic that we will get the points against Ajax. There are some strange parallels between the current team right now and that team that consisted of 5 Cobham players starting that game against Ajax 5 years ago. You could even argue we have a younger average squad age than what we even had all those years back. But luckily for us, we're up against an Ajax team that don't possess the same level of talent they had during that game. There's no Van der Beeks, no Ziyech's, no De Lits. None of these guys are at the team anymore. And I guess in terms of like the interesting players to kind of pay attention to, you're looking at Mokio, the young Belgian international that's playing in midfield. You're looking at the Israeli and Oscar Gloff. And of course, they have experience in players like Verkos and even Bertrand Traore, who's gone back to Ajax again. So listen, they're going to want to bounce back now. They've not won in their last 3 games. They got battered by Marseille. They drew 3-3 against Sparta, and they lost 2-0 against AZ. So they're a team that will want to right those wrongs. But I feel like with the home fans on our sides, with 3 wins on the bounce in our favour, and the level of young, exciting talent that gets to hopefully make their mark in the Champions League game tomorrow, I'm feeling pretty optimistic that we can continue this mini resurgence that we're seeing right now. So my friends, are you guys ready for the game against Ajax tomorrow? Let me know in the comments right now. And I want to start things off by tackling Enzo Maresca's press conference first. Now, I guess we can start with some semi-interesting positive news. Number 1, Enzo Fernandez is in contention for the game tomorrow. He was only omitted from the game recently because of a precautionary measures. So that's okay that our leader is set to come back because we're going to kind of lead more leadership now in this team. Other good news is Liam Delap is close to returning back as well. At the moment, he isn't taking any sessions right now, but there's hopes that he can take part in sessions in the next few days. And I think that's going to be a massive positive for this team. I think that Liam Delap has been missed, especially when you don't have Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer has been the biggest miss, but I think Liam Delap's been a close second because of his physicality, his ability to lead the line, his fearlessness on the counter-attack. And I think what he allows Joao Pedro to do when Cole Palmer isn't in the team. So that will be big news, but at the same time, let's keep things realistic. Let's not have any silly ideas that Liam Delap will come back instantly, ready to fire. He'll need a few more games to find his form again, and hopefully we give the guy that level of confidence. So That then turns us to what strikers to expect to see tomorrow. Now, Mark Guiu had a really promising cameo. Tyree George has done interesting things so far this season. And when asked, Maresca basically said, listen, I have both strikers in Guiu and Tyreek. Let's not forget how well Tyreek did against Benfica. So naturally, what I'm getting from this presser is that he's not going to reveal what his striker and his lineup decisions are going to be. You want to keep Ajax guessing. You don't want them to figure out what the game plan is going to be, right? But I'd be surprised if Mark Guiu didn't start the game. I think after what he did against Forest, I think this is the game now to start and really showcase what he's about, what he's learned, and hopefully, potentially secure his first goal of the new season. So let's watch the space, my friends. Outside of that, though, João Hato, I nearly said Hato. I don't know why I say that. Hato most likely should be in contention to play against Ajax. Of course, he's up against his former club, and Maresca kind of just painted the story of his progression at Chelsea at the moment. As Maresca said, listen, the first 2-3 weeks he's struggled due to the intensity increase, being in a new country, in a new league. The guy's a teenager, like we can't keep forgetting that. These guys, they need their time. But the promising news is he is getting better. That's what I want to hear. In terms of his actual position, I mean, I've always thought this, but Maresca basically confirmed it. He will be like the other utility player. Maresca said he can equally play as a centre-back, on the left-hand side, as a fullback, and even push into midfield as well. He has those capabilities. He just has to get up to speed with the level of competition and the higher level that he's playing at right now. So I've got really big hopes around Hato. I think this guy will be clear. I've known about him for years. I was really happy with us pulling this move off. And as fans, you know, for most of these guys, man, the first season is just the transitional year. But yet we can't forget that. We have to understand that, yeah. So we haven't seen everything yet, but I'm getting the vibe that Hato should be starting in the game tomorrow. And finally, one of the key interesting points was focused on discipline. Discipline and Chelsea have become like oil and water. It's not going hand in hand because our record is getting a bit silly now. I'm not going to lie, man. Malo Gusto just got that stupid second yellow for a slide tackle near the end. Listen, that was like pretty obvious that we have some disciplinary issues right there. You break down all the red cards, it's a bit interesting, right? Both Pedro and Gusto got silly second yellows later on. Sanchez and Trevor Jalabo, of course, got their red cards for, you know, mistakes and being the last man. And then we've also got red cards for petulance and, you know, silly mistakes as well. So that definitely has to be addressed. And Maresca's answers were pretty interesting. He was basically saying, listen, we need to find that balance between aggression and control. In my opinion, we have to overcompensate for our inexperience by being overly aggressive so we don't communicate that we're an easy meal in the Premier League. I can understand that. But when it comes to punishments, Maresca kind of gave this interesting analogy comparing his own personal parenting style. He's got 4 kids. When they do wrong, he says that I'm not here to punish them, I'm here to teach them. And he applies that principle to this young Chelsea squad, which I think probably is the best way to do things, in my opinion. I'd imagine, though, that Gusto and some of these guys might be getting a few small fines, especially for this dumb second yellows like that. But, my friends, that's pretty much all the interesting things from the presser. Let's end things now by discussing my predicted lineup for the game tomorrow. Alright, so getting straight into this lineup. Listen, we got Sunderland on the weekends. It'll be a challenging game, but a winnable game. But we probably have to see some type of rotation, right? So up front, Mark Guiu, I wanted to start his first game for us this season. I think he deserves it after that cameo against Nottingham Forest. Supporting him, I've gone for Gittins, not Garnacho. Even though you could use either one, you guys. Let's be serious. They're kind of the same profile and same player right now in our team. In behind, I've gone for João Pedro. On the right-hand side, Estevão Willian. A midfield of Santos and Caicedo, and a defense of Hato, Tosin, Fofana, Gusto, and Robert Sanchez in goal. Now, Sanchez speaks for himself. I think Jorgensen, listen, he probably could play, but I think you're in the Champions League. Every point matters right now, as we hope to, of course, qualify to the knockout rounds. So you used your best keeper. And outside of that mistake against Man United, where, listen, better goalkeepers have been there themselves. I'm not going to hold it against them as if, all the good 6-7 months that Sanchez has shown means nothing because he has the Bozo moment. Yes, he does. So what? But I'm not going to dismiss how reliable he's been. And I didn't even praise him for his performance against Nottingham Forest. He's making big saves. He's the best goalkeeper with his hands in the Premier League. I'm not even going to debate that. That is just a pure fact. He's got some great qualities, and I've just been noticing this trend that he is minimizing the mistakes, and it seems like he is growing in some type of stature right now. So let's hope that he can continue this right to the end of the season, because he becomes a very interesting goalkeeper then. The defense will be the interesting one. I think with Gusto's suspension in the league, you're going to keep Reece James rested, so he'll start this game, and hopefully comes correct after the mistakes he made. I get the vibe, it might be a bit of an inverted thing, but I think against Ajax, I'm expecting to see more of like a 3-1-6 type of thing that we're doing, or 3-1-3-3, with Gusto having the license to drift wide, create those overlaps. I'm kind of hoping to see that. That would then allow us to have a back three of Hato on the left, Fofana on the right hand side, and Tosin in the middle. I think that has a great mixture of experience, of aerial ability, of pace, of technique, and I want to see players like Hato and Fofana really push past that halfway line when opportunities arise. I get sick and tired sometimes and we don't create overloads, and I notice that our defenders are just sitting back, not really on the ball, not offering anything, and it would just help the team so much if they were able to do that at times. So I would like to see that, and I'm hoping that Hato gets to play against his former club to just build his confidence, which I'm sure he's going to have in abundance coming against his former teammates. That means that in midfield, of course, will be Caicedo being the sitting player for us. I don't think I want to see Lavia and Santos again. As I've been explaining quite a lot, it's the first time they play together. They're really inexperienced. I think right now, kind of like introduce these guys slowly alongside experience in the team. And I think Caicedo sitting is one of the best in the world at that, which would allow Santos to have the license to occupy one of the half spaces, which is going to be key to create those connections in the final third, which then means that you'll see, Santos, Joao Pedro behind, Mark Guiu, and Esteval and Gittins holding the width. Now, on the right sides, if Gusto will have the license to push further forwards, out wide, hopefully this allows Esteval to come inside. When he comes inside, he makes things happen. He's creative. He can do everything offensively. I want him to start the game, but I completely respect the level of patience that Maresca's showing with Esteval, because I'm thinking about Esteval over 5-10 years, you guys. I'm not thinking about him right now. Yeah, I want this guy to be properly introduced so his body will never break down and we never lose out on him. So Esteval for me, and I think for Giddens, listen, it's down between himself and Garnacho to try and fight for that left wing spot. He had a decent international break periods, and let's see if playing against weaker opposition with more space at home is going to allow him to show his confidence when he's dribbling right. So that is my lineup, my friends. Let me know your lineup in the comments below. And to end things with my prediction, I think we'll see goals tomorrow. Maybe I'm being ambitious because you're seeing some young faces, but I don't know. I'm feeling optimistic that we're going to really hurt Ajax tomorrow. I'm going for a 4-1 win in our favor. Yeah, I'm sensing this resurgence of form. So I think we'll see a 4-1 win. I think Joao Pedro will finally score. I think Mark Guiu, and I think Esteval will get on the score sheet as well. So my friends, that is the preview for Ajax at the way. Let me know your opinions below in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Love, cool.